We have an early deadline this Friday, and there's no time to sit on the fence anymore. I'll tell you about the transfer I've already made, and then the transfer I'm seriously considering as we try and push on and move up in the ranks. In this video, we'll also take a look at the state of the defense, and I'll give you a few options to consider in the next few game weeks. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Femi. Let's jump into it. All right, so let's talk about the transfer I've already made. I took Enzo Fernandez down and turned him to Rayan at Bournemouth. And I'm feeling pretty confident about this transfer. I think a lot of the 6 million picks in terms of whether it's Rayan, Dango Atara, Wilson, they're all, around the same category and sort of being a little bit of a punt. And we're all just trying to find the best upside for our squads. The reason for Rayan was quite simple for me in the sense that here is a player who's, played great minutes. I'm not sure how Tavernier is going to impact him moving forward, but encouragingly enough, he wasn't the person who was subbed off. He played the whole 90 minutes in terms of their last match away to West Ham. So that's a good sign. But also, when you look at the state of teams that he's going to be facing, all these Premier League teams have played so many games. He's going to be facing tired defenders, and he's one of those explosive players that can probably take advantage of that. So that's enough for me. And then the second thing is look at what Enzo Fernandez wasn't able to do in a great fixture run. I don't think we have any confidence of any player sort of being able to do anything at this point in time, especially in the midfield. So I don't have any concerns really taking a punt on Rayan and seeing what he can do. And I think 3 of the next 4 fixtures as well for Bournemouth are at home. So what better way to give the home fans a little bit of a treat with some goals and assists. So let's see how he does. And now let me tell you about this one player that I'm eyeing and targeting massively, as he's a huge differential and one that you guys should be considering as well. So my differential option at under 8% owned is Bukayo Saka. Okay, guys, I know what you're thinking, but hold on, let me explain the reasons why. Number one, when you look at the opponent that Arsenal faces, they're facing a Chelsea side without Cucurella, who's the typical irritant to Bukayo Saka on that left-hand side as the left back there. So Bukayo already is looking at a more favorable matchup. They also are missing Wesley Fofana, who's out with a red card suspension. So that also gives a good credence that Arsenal will be able to have a great opportunity against their back line. The other thing as well is Saka's in great form. He's averaging 6 points per game in the last 3 game weeks. And that includes not starting against Brentford in the first game of that double game week. So he's starting to look good. And then the other thing that also is quite interesting is he has higher points per game than Wirtz, Rodgers, Wilson, Enzo. So I know he's more higher priced at 9.8 million, but he's doing better than these players, and supposedly he's having such a worse season. So that's also something to consider. And then the other element is the mentality and the mental side of it. He just signed his new contract, so he's locked up till 2031 with Arsenal. And then the other thing is Arsenal only has 2 games away from home in terms of City and Brighton over the rest of the season in the Premier League. We're not including, obviously, Champions League games here, but in the Premier League, they don't travel far. So they stay in the comforts of London. The guy has his contract done. He's probably feeling confident in himself. And Arsenal, oh yeah, they're going for a title. So all of those things are extremely positive. But then the other thing, and the last piece that really makes it interesting is look at Arsenal's run-in. Look at these last 5 fixtures. They're actually quite good, and they're better than a lot of the top 6 sides. So here you're getting a player that, is a typical 200 point plus fantasy Premier League asset. Obviously, he won't maybe get to those standards this rest of the season, but he might get close. And if he gets close, he might be even worth a punt. So I have the funds to do an easy Martinelli to Saka upgrade. And I really do think that even with blank game week 31, Arsenal, which has some favorable fixtures before that blank, 2 home games in Chelsea coming up next, and then Everton at home, it's a really good opportunity to jump on Saka. Let me know what you guys are thinking, but the thing with him is not everyone's going to have him, and the other beauty is he becomes a captain option as well. And with his ability to, get to the double-digit returns and get bonus and get DEFCONs, you're looking at a fairly good value and a great differential at 8%. So I'd be happy to know what you guys think, and now let's move on to the state of the defense. So it doesn't really matter where we are in terms of our teams. We're all looking for an edge. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through my defenders and talk about them in terms of locks, holds, and who I'm potentially looking to transfer out and give you guys some options to take a look at. So in terms of the locks, we're going to keep Gabriel there. We know he's such an explosive defensive asset. He's the only player in my backline that I really trust to get an attacking return from a goal perspective. And I do think even though he has been a little bit out of form, he still has that capability. And he also can obviously get def cons and bonus. So Gabriel is the lock. In terms of holds, we have Ballard. Ballard's been such a strong differential for me. And I know so many people of you guys went with Mukiele. And I've always stuck with Ballard because he did so well at home and he continues to show really well at home. And he is able to really get def cons. At his price point under 5 million, it's really good value. And I'm just going to hold him. And even though Sunderland has some really tricky fixtures, he could get def cons. So that's at least a 4-pointer. So he's going to stay in the squad. The other player is Munoz. Munoz is a right winger playing right back. Even though Crystal Palace looks all out of sorts, he's still doing his thing. He got a 9-pointer in his last game against Wolves. And ultimately, like, I think he can still do and produce really well. And I do like this Man United fixture for him away in Gameweek28. And then, so now let's look at who is on the transfer block. And no surprise, it's Chalobah at 5.7 million. He has the points numbers, but we know he can't get the clean sheets. We know he's not getting attacking returns. He's, a little bit of a concern. There is a view that if Chelsea doubles, would he be a good asset? But, in FPL, it's all about trusting assets. And I just don't have any faith in the Chelsea assets. So I don't know if I'm really going to, bank on that and if that's even appealing enough to hold him. And then the other player is Diouf. He's had an amazing run for me. But the fixtures do start to turn and start to get a little bit more difficult. So I'm not opposed to selling him. The only caveat for him is he's extremely cheap. So anyone you're going to be adding is potentially going to be adding funds. Now, with that said, let's look at who I think in the next few game weeks could give us an edge from a defensive standpoint. And let's see what that looks like now. So one player that I don't have on here is Virgil van Dijk. I'm not that confident in the Liverpool team and or their players, and I just sort of think I want to avoid having a trouble spot in the sense that I'm not really relying on this player. I think I'm looking for more of a differential, and I'm going to give you 2 of these picks that I think are differentials that have good fixture runs in the next 2 to 3 game weeks that could potentially have huge upside. So the first player is Lewis Potter. Yes, Sade is coming back, but Lewis Potter has been playing well all season. He's been able to play and be available for Keith Andrews, and I think that would be rewarded in getting minutes, and I think he can produce, right? And he leads the Brentford defense in goals with 3. He's playing essentially out of position as a left winger. He, is playing Burnley next, and I don't think it's a bad idea to potentially consider him because we're looking for upside here, and, it's just with all these defenders, we just want to get some in good fixtures, and he's definitely one. So that's a player I'm considering. The other player is I'm looking at these Fulham fixtures, and I can't rack my mind around who I would want. He's not Anderson because a lot of people have Anderson. It's Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon. He's done it before. He's been able to haul. He also gets into the bonus. He, plays advanced, and at home you're feeling a little bit more comfortable. You're feeling a little bit more attacking. And I think he could do well. Fulham is looking a lot better of late. They have a lot of interesting attacking pieces in Kevin, Oscar Bob, and, obviously Harry Wilson's there, who a lot of us are thinking and eyeing for the midfield spot. I think he could sort of be a part of that attack. And he's the guy that I'm actually eyeing when I look at these next couple of fixtures. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know who else you're thinking from a defensive standpoint. It's really tough. I've thought about this a lot when you look at the next 2 to 3 fixtures. And I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. With that said, thanks for watching this video. If you like this content, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.